y'all about what we do at the Sheriff's Office on a daily basis. But right now, we're going to let the Cub Scout 1282 do the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank y'all. Pastor.
Would you join me and let's pray together? Father, we're so thankful for your special grace, mercy, and love that you placed here in this county. Douglas County is an awesome place, full of people that love you and people that just don't know you yet. And when we introduce them to you, they will love you. I want to thank you for all the first responders. And tonight especially, we're honoring the Sheriff's Department and the police here in Douglas County and Douglasville City. We just thank you that you're their covering, that you first and foremost protect them, that you ride along with them, those that are patrolling in cars, that you're with them in their offices, and that you bless our sheriff, that you have put him in this position, God. You said that you elevate. And so I know we had an election, but it was you, your hand, your blessing, your anointing that brought Sheriff Tim Pounds to this office. And so we pray specifically for him tonight. We ask you to give him supernatural wisdom as he leads these fine men and women, as he helps them to excel in their areas and to grow in their occupation. They're here as servants. And so we just thank you that, like your son Jesus, they're here to serve the people of Douglas County. And we're so thrilled that they would take the time to come and host a town hall meeting right here in the center of Douglas County. We pray your blessings over all who come to ask a question tonight, those who are contributing, those who are here to help this wonderful sheriff. Again, we pray blessing over the Sheriff's Department in Jesus' name. And everybody shout amen. 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 Thank you.
Once again, thank you for coming. I ain't going to put a number on this town hall meeting, but we have them. And this is the first time I had a turnout like I have now, so I appreciate it simply because it's all about the community. Now, when I ran for sheriff, I promised y'all to fill that gap between the community and the police officers. I don't want that gap there anymore. So the only way I know how to get it back is get out there in that community, hand in hand, and work with our community. Get everyone in this room involved in Douglas County Sheriff's Office, because everyone in this room can make it a better place to work and live. So if everyone come together as one, that's what it's going to take to get Douglas County, get this crime down. But it involves the churches, the schools. Everybody got to be involved. That's what my intentions are. I got my entire command staff back here. We're going to tell y'all what each division do. Everyone going to tell them what they do. And at the end, if there's any questions, we're going to answer any and all questions that y'all got. And again, I appreciate everyone coming. And we're going to go ahead and get started and let them tell what they do. I just make sure they do what they're supposed to do. Chief Connors.
Good afternoon. My name is Kenneth Connor. I've been with the Sheriff's Office almost 24 years. When the Sheriff came into office, he appointed me to the Chief Deputy position. Oversee, make sure that the Sheriff's vision is carried out throughout the department, and that we're moving in the direction that he wants to move. I oversee the budget. I grew up here, 93 graduate of Alexander High School, and we live here in Douglas County. We've got multiple people here that is going to represent each division. Directly under me, I have a colonel who oversees operations, and I'll let him explain what all he does and go into that a little bit further. But I'll be around to answer any questions at the end when we get to it.
Thank you, Chief. You know, I have implemented several programs at this sheriff's office, and one of them you can see outside, like the grill. That grill was bought, I like to say it, the dope guys bought that grill. The dope guys, we confiscated the money and we purchased that grill. Same thing about that ice cream truck. Same thing. They bought the ice cream truck, and the citizen keep it filled with ice cream. I mean, my business owners, they keep it filled with ice cream. But again, getting back to what I was talking about the children, we losing our young men of such a race, y'all wouldn't believe it. And I tell you why. We stopped being parents. We want to be friends with the child. Well, that's all right. You can be friends, but make sure they stay in their rightful place. And they got a place to stay, and they can't put their hands on their parents. They can't smoke weed. These things that these children is doing, we ain't got bad kids. Everybody say, we got a bunch. No, we ain't got a bunch of bad kids. We got them to make a lot of bad decisions because they ain't got that guidance at the house. We got to go back, putting that guidance back. We got to go back to that because I'm telling you, the jail is just outrageous what the age are. But that's who committing the crimes. It's the children. It's committing the crime. Y'all see on the news what school where the 19-year-old got to fight and went home, got the gun and shot the 12-year-old? It wasn't in our county, but I seen it on the news. Paulding County. But see, we got to go back, ladies and gentlemen, go in their room. Look, see what they're doing. Because that telephone is our worst enemy. You can get on that phone and do anything you want to do and learn how to do anything you want to do. But I don't know what age it started. I'd probably say from 9, it's got a phone. And my 3-year-old grandson know how to use this iPhone I got. So there ain't no problem learning how to use it. We just got to monitor what they use it for. We don't go back in the kids' room no more. We don't look under the bed no more. Only thing I'm saying is go back to being parents because we don't want to have to try to raise y'all kids. I always said it like this. I'd rather y'all raise them because if they get in the system, the state going to raise them. And either way it's a good raise, but I'd rather for y'all to do it. Y'all the parents. Y'all are responsible. They didn't come with no instructions. You got to do what your parents done. Now I'm taking that far back because Daddy beat us with 2 before. Y'all can't take it that far back. But I'm going to tell you, you can still spank them with a belt. You can still do that. And if that's what it takes, that's what you need to. But going back to some more of these programs, we got an Explorer program. I'm pretty sure Captain Horn explained that to you, what we got. But mine is to keep this crime down. And the only way I'm going to do that is everybody in this room participate. You know, I see Sergeant Sullivan back there. She had an outstanding neighborhood watch program. But I don't hear too much about that neighborhood watch program anymore. I want folks to get back involved because if you ain't involved, I always said it like this. If you either part of the problem or you're a solution for the problem. But these folks say, I don't want to get involved. Well, that man done went off and worked 8 long hours and come back, his TV gone. All this personal belongings is gone. Neighborhood might have seen a car line that it looked suspicious, but they said, well, I ain't going to get involved. We got to stop that there too, y'all. Ain't no crime out there too small. Ain't none out there too large. If you see a suspicious car, call the sheriff's office. Let us come down there and find out why it's suspicious. May not be nothing to it at all, but it could very well be something. at all. I ain't gonna take up much of the time. I'll come in between as they talk. Whoever next, Emma, not Emma, you do it. Colonel Oliver.
How y'all doing? We appreciate the opportunity for allowing us to be here. All the officers here, we have a combined total probably between 300 and 400 years of service if you added all our service up. I started my journey in 1985 with the City of Atlanta Police Department. I went to work for Douglasville in '89. I had the opportunity to work for, today, 4 great sheriffs. Joe Wisnett, who was my chief, sent me from Douglasville up to the Sheriff's Department for about 15 years of my career. I was swore in up under Sheriff Earl Lee, Tommy Waldrop, Phil Miller, and then Sheriff Tim Pounds gave me the opportunity to come work for him. I'd retired from Douglasville. The sheriff came to me, asked me to help him, and just last week he asked me, he said, why do you support me? And I supported him for one reason, because I believe in him. I want everybody to believe in their sheriff here, and if you don't believe in him, you got to get behind what you believe in and stand up for what you believe in, because together we can make this happen. Douglasville is a great community. We have about 148,000 residents. We have 25,000 children in our schools today. We have between 650 and 700 inmates in our jails. That's too high. We want to lower it. Even though we've built it for capacity, we want to lower those numbers, and together we can do it. My daily thing is that when I come in, I'm over daily operations. I go, I look at the reports, I review what happened the night before. We typically average in a 24-hour period about 200, maybe 225 calls. Me, the captains, the majors, we review those reports, we determine where crimes occurred, and then we target that crime. And that's the only way we can combat crime out here and make the community safer. We got a lot of great officers that work with us. You can see by the numbers, we got close to 400 employees. That's a lot of employees to keep up with. We're here for y'all anytime y'all need us. Y'all got our numbers. Call us. You can come up to the Sheriff's Department, ask to talk to us, and thanks again.
Good evening, and again, thank y'all for allowing us to come here tonight. My name is Bobby Holmes. I'm a major with the Sheriff's Office. I oversee all of the law enforcement operations for the department. There's about 6 divisions that I deal with. Some of you would obviously think of patrol, criminal investigations, narcotics. Also, the new division that the sheriff started, the SCOPE, which is our community outreach. I also deal with our courthouse and the staff there, as well as the warrants and civil. So I handle all that, warrant, civil, and transports for our department, and also the training division. So it's kind of a busy day for me, like Doug. One of the good things that I have is I'm able to kind of go to different divisions each day and kind of spend a little time. So I don't always do the same job every day, which is a good thing. That's one of the, you go to a job and every day you do just one thing after another. After another, it gets real old. So this county, I grew up here. I went through high school, Douglas County High School. Me and Captain Dwayne Worthen graduated together in 1984. Somebody in the audience can attest to that. A man by the name of John Stone was our principal. Don't ask him any questions tonight either, if you would, please. This community, I've been at the sheriff's office 33 years. And I look back now on that, and it seems only like yesterday when you're running the streets, running patrol, catching calls and things, and then the next thing you turn around, it's 33 years later. So this community, I love this community, always will, very dear to my heart. The sheriff said it very well when the community's got to get involved. we're good at solving crime. We have always been very good at solving crime, stopping crime. But when we get the help from the community, that increases dramatically. Y'all will see later on this evening some of the crime stats that we got. And over the last couple of years, our stuff has gone down. So we've had a noticeable decrease in some of the criminal activities like burglaries, armed robberies, things like that. So it's working, but like you said, we can make this go even further. If we can get more community involvement with folks, we can increase those numbers and make it a safer community. And I'll be around after it's over with to answer any questions about any of the divisions that I got and try to help you out. So thank you.
Thank you again. I'd like to recognize all our elected officials. I know we have one, I don't know if we have another one, but Ms. Ramona Jackson, chairperson, would you please stand and raise your hand? Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dwayne Wesson Hunt. I'm one of the two majors at the sheriff's office. I've been there at the department for about 21 years now and started my career with no experience in the jail. Since then, I've gone through several different divisions, and I'm now overseeing the IT department, maintenance, the jail, and administration. I've got several good folks that work for me, and we are trying to grow the department. If y'all are familiar with what's going on in the news and the public perception, just like the sheriff alluded to, we're trying to close that gap between the communities and law enforcement because we've gotten a black eye in the media. And we don't believe that the majority of folks are bad folks, and that goes for the public or for law enforcement. There's bad folks anywhere you look, but the majority of folks are good folks, and that includes law enforcement. We want y'all to trust us. We want y'all to feel like you can come to us if you need something. And the only way for us to bridge that gap is by getting out there in the community and talking to y'all one-on-one and being able to answer your questions and kind of building that rapport between the public and law enforcement. And so that's what we're doing here tonight. So I'm going to turn this over to the rest of the command staff so that they can introduce their different divisions, and I'll be here to answer any questions that y'all may have afterwards. John.
Thank you. How y'all doing? My name's Lieutenant John Sweat. I've been with the department about 27 years now. The majority of my career was spent in criminal investigations, where I spent 16 years doing that. And then I got moved to the administrative division, which is where I'm currently at. I'm stepping in for Captain Scott Worthen tonight. He wasn't able to make it. I'll tell you a little bit about what we do. The administrative division, having come from a deep law enforcement background, when they sent me to administration, I thought, well, I don't know if I can do paperwork like that in an office. You know, I've always been on the street or in the field or chasing people. I just didn't know if I could do it, but I tell you, I like what I do. I love it. So what we do, sorry, I got to take these off to read as I get older. Our primary function is personnel under the administrative division, and that's where we process applications, hiring, retention, and other personnel-related matters that we deal with. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but it's just not that easy to get on board with law enforcement. And last year under Sheriff Pounds, we hired 53 people. That's never been done in the history of the sheriff's office. That's a difficult task because we have a very extreme vetting process. We actually hire about 1 out of 17 applicants. So you figure if we hired 53, how many applicants we processed last year. We've been really, really busy trying to keep feet on the street. And sometimes that's difficult to do. And it's not just here in our community, it's all over the nation. It's an epidemic right now that's going on with law enforcement. When the economy's good, people don't want to come to government work. When the economy's bad, people come to government work. I mean, that's just the way it is. So we've really tried hard and got some people hired. Also under the administrative division is fleet maintenance. Primary function is also to keep our vehicles running, cycling them through and replacing them. And then the Office of Professional Standards. That's where we investigate citizens' complaints concerning mostly criminal misconduct, civil rights violations, brutality, corruption, and misuse of force. That comes through our Office of Professional Standards. The administrative division also has communications division. That's our dispatchers. When you call the 5656 number, that's our sheriff's emergency dispatch. We're also responsible for the records division, record retention, maintaining civil, criminal, and rec reports. If y'all need to come get something, you would come to our records department and we would take care of that for you. And then lastly, GCIC. And what that is the Georgia Crime Information Center. We have 3 dedicated people that do nothing but check to make sure that we have the correct people entered wanted, correct vehicles entered as stolen, correct weapons entered as stolen. And so we have a checks and balances with that to make sure that the proper information is set. So when we're finished, I'll be around if anybody has any other questions. But that's our administrative division, and I'm glad to represent it tonight. Thank y'all.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lieutenant Sharon Carroll. I work for the Criminal Investigations Division. I've been in the CID unit since 2002. I also have worked for 4 sheriffs at the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. Started my career back in 1990, and I've worked in the jail, patrol, and landed in CID where I currently work. What we do in our unit is we field a lot of complaints in reference to crimes that have been committed. Patrol units go out and they handle first responder calls, and what we do after that is we get dozens of reports after that where we have to do follow-up investigations, everything from simple larcenies, drug complaints, all the way up to serious crimes. I manage the major case unit, the crimes against person unit, crime scene evidence. We have a latent print examiner in our division, as well as a few specialized uniform units that help out in the community with traffic and some crime suppression. We have a lot of fantastic people that work in our unit, a lot of experience, excuse me, and an immense amount of very professional people. We rely a lot when we work these criminal cases on the community. We work very closely with our victims and complainants and witnesses to try to help solve crimes. We do that, and we do it well. Our main objective is to make sure that we can solve this crime, and if it leads to an arrest, that's what we do, all the way to prosecution and all the way to taking that person to prison or whatever the case may be. So we have a very busy unit, and again I also manage the crime scene and evidence tech. So we maintain all the evidence that comes in, everything from recovered property to evidence collected at a crime scene. We have a latent print examiner in our unit, and what she does is works closely with us to examine fingerprints that we might collect. If our people go out and collect fingerprints at a scene, she's able to help us hopefully identify that through a lot of state computer systems, which can help us lead to a suspect potentially. We also have a forensic investigator, and what they do is he examines computers. We're in the technology age now, so we have a lot of telephones, tablets, computers that are involved in a lot of our crimes, frauds and crimes against children. So there's a lot we have to do, everything from paperwork all the way up to technical computer exams. So there's a lot we have going on. We have a lot of experienced people who work very hard, and we appreciate all your help in helping us get these cases to a closure. And if you have any questions, I'll be here throughout the rest of this. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Praise the Lord, everybody. It's good to be in the house of the Lord. My name is Captain Lindy West, and I've been at the Sheriff's Office for approximately 33 years. I'm the captain over court services, and I've got a little bit of history for you before I tell you what I do. It's quite interesting. The sheriff, actually, the office of the sheriff goes back to the Bible. and it starts in Daniel 3 and 2. And I'll read you the scripture, and then I'm sure everybody is familiar with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But in Daniel, it starts like this. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king set to gather together the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of his image, which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. He had set up a image of himself, and he wanted everyone to worship him. So there were 3 people, though, that didn't want to worship him, which was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And they placed them 3 in a fiery furnace, and God delivered them. And King Nebuchadnezzar actually changed his mind about God. In 871 AD, under the reign of King Alfred, our early development of the modern sheriff's office, King Alfred devised a new unit of government with his kingdom known as the Shire, which means county. And the Shire was administered by the Reeve, which means chief. And that's how we got the name sheriff. So those are some tidbits that are interesting. In those days, there were no police and no judges and no magistrates either. So the sheriff did everything. So the sheriff goes way back in our time. Through the 17 and 1800s, the American sheriffs were given a broad range of responsibilities by the colonial and state legislators. The duties legislated to the sheriff included maintaining the jails, maintaining law enforcement, and the judicial process. And that's where we get to our courts. Our courthouse division is actually called court services. But inside our courthouse, a lot of our employees inside there call us courthouse security. Court services division also, we provide security for the Douglas County Annex. And that's where we have the tag and tax building. It has tag and tax on the first floor, and it has the appraisal and mapping on the second floor. So we provide security for there also. We have numerous deputies and bailiffs, and we also have 4 open positions as deputies. If anybody knows anybody that would like to send somebody to the sheriff's office and talk to Lieutenant Sweat, our administrative division, and we would be more than happy to accept their application to try to get some great deputies for us at the courthouse. We also, I'll give you a more detailed idea about what a bailiff does. Bailiffs actually, they work for the courts, for the judges. They work in the courthouse giving directions to persons that have been summoned for court. They also provide security duties and assist the deputies at the screening station, screening persons coming into the court side. Our deputies provide security for both the courthouse and the Douglas County Annex. They transport inmates to and from court, and they also handle a lot of our public meetings and keeping our public and our officials in the courthouse safe. And we also do a lot of other things. We answer medical calls, we do first aid, and we call for an ambulance if someone needs an ambulance. So we are public service also inside the courthouse itself. We're proud to work in buildings, both of our buildings, with people every day that care. We care about them and they care about us. And our sheriff cares about them and our sheriff cares about us. And we're proud of that and thankful to be professional and supportive. And we just want to help people every day and keep them secure as possible. Also, I want to talk about the courthouse security project just a little bit. I don't know if you're familiar that the courthouse is under construction right now, the front of the courthouse. So our goal for the courthouse construction project is a security project, and it's to actually make our courthouse safer. So hopefully within the next 6 months, our project will be complete, and everyone who will enter the front of the courthouse and be screened to go inside our courthouse. And then after that, there'll be a secure parking project after that will happen in the back of the courthouse to expand the parking spaces back there for secure parking to keep everyone safe back there. And when that is completed, you won't be able to drive all the way around the courthouse. It'll be a one-way in back. So it'll be a secured parking in the back of the courthouse. So, and we're proud to have that. It's been a long time coming in planning, and we're proud to have it in the works to make our courthouse and everyone in it safer. So if you have any questions in the end, I'll be more than glad to help you. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Captain Alan Watkins. I've been with Douglas County Sheriff's Office since July 11, 1981, which is a total of 38 years. I started with the city of Douglasville in 1979, and like I said, I've been here 38 years. I've been married for 35 years. Don't ask me which one is the easiest. The sheriff asked me to make a presentation or a speech, which I've been waiting for 2 weeks to try to prepare. And let me read this to you. Are you ready? 77 years. Oh, I'm sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. I'm sorry, but just the same, let me tell you a little about myself. I'm captain in charge of the Warrant Division, which is responsible for the servants or the execution of felony and misdemeanor warrants. I'm also responsible for the Civil Division, which handles the civil process, which is the servants of papers such as divorce papers, lawsuits. I think y'all get what I'm saying. I'm also responsible for the Transport Division, which this unit picks up people that's been arrested on Douglas County warrants throughout the state of Georgia and throughout the United States. We've traveled as far as I can tell. I believe the farthest we've been was to New Mexico. So like the old saying go, you can't outrun the long arm of the law, and that's the truth. The sheriff has told me, and I appreciate it, that I run a total of about 22 employees, that I do a great job. I got to give my employees credit for that, because if they didn't make me shine, he couldn't make that statement. Learned in this job, you got to have a little humor to get the job done, or else you'll go crazy. I've got one of my employees here tonight. Would you stand up, Matt? This is my lieutenant over the Civil Division, and I basically let him run all the operations of the Civil Division, and I try to keep basically up with what's going on with the Warrant Fugitive and the Transport Division. I guess y'all know fugitives are people that don't want to be found, and I've got some of the best investigators, put them up against anybody to get them found. If y'all have any questions when I get through, I could talk on, but I've been told I'm limited. And the sheriff knows I'm long-winded, so I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
First of all, let me say thank y'all for having us, and we really do appreciate it, because we like for y'all to know what we do here, and we appreciate the input that you give us on anything that we can do to improve. And so my name is Dwayne Wortham, and I'm over the Patrol Division. All right, so I started at the Sheriff's Office in 1984 under Earl Lee. So you add that up, that's going 35 years up there. Been under Sheriff Earl Lee, Tommy Waldrop, Phil Miller, and now Sheriff Pounds. And I'd like to say I appreciate him for allowing me to do what I do. And I'll give you a little bit of my background. I started out in the jail, like I said, in 1984, November of that year. Went to patrol in 85. And so I worked on the streets from 85, and, well, you can say I'm a lifer because I've been there my whole career. In 1989, I got promoted to sergeant in the patrol division over a shift. So that's assistant shift commander. And from there, I worked the sergeant until 1995, to where I got promoted to lieutenant in the patrol division. And so I worked there from 95 to December 7th, 2013, where I got promoted to captain. And I've been in that position for the last 6 years. And what we do is I run a patrol division where we have special units, like our traffic. We got a traffic commander and First Lieutenant John Jewell, who's right here. I'd like for him to come up here. Come up here. And the reason why I'm going to call John up here is because he's a big part of our division. He runs day-to-day operations. We do it together, but he's like the first line over our lieutenant. So I'm going to give him the mic and let him explain what he does.
Well, he just put me on the spot, y'all. Wasn't prepared for this, but my name is John Jewell. I've been with the Sheriff's Office. This April will be 30 years I've been employed with the Sheriff's Office. I've been in uniform patrol my whole career there. I answer to this man right here, my captain. The patrol division, we're the marked cars that you see out on the road answering calls. We're the first responders. When someone dials 911, they respond. We're here 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. Oh, yeah, okay, that's right. The colonel mentioned some things. Douglas County is around 202 square miles. We pack about 148,000 people in this county. Out of 159 counties, I believe Douglas County might be the 17th largest populated county in the state. Okay, we are now Metro Atlanta. We have a sheriff now that's in the 21st century? Yeah. I went to Lithia Springs High School, y'all. I was born and raised in Douglas County too. But it was, we've got a lot going on in Douglas County, and we have a lot ahead of us on what we got to do in this county. If you want to see the greatest show on earth, come ride in the front seat of one of our patrol cars. Okay? And that's what we want you to do. If you're a law-abiding citizen, we want you to come up there, get in the car with us, and you can actually ride with us, and we can show you what we do in the patrol division. Because we answer so many different calls, y'all. It doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, religion, it doesn't matter. Everybody is going to call us when something goes wrong. We do a lot more than just going out and taking people to jail. We have to go out and talk to kids, in which now that I have a little pull at the sheriff's office with some of the deputies up there, I make it a point to tell them when they see a child, to make it a point to say hello to that child, to introduce themselves to that child, so they will not be afraid of us. I've tried to make it a point with the deputies coming in now to respect everyone. No matter what they've done, what crime they've committed, you treat that person with respect, you're going to get respect back most of the time. There are some people that we're not going to be able to reach, that we're going to have to go hands-on to do what we need to do. Okay? I've been on the road a long time, and I've really only had about 2 instances where I've really had to go round and round with somebody, and it's just the way you have to talk to people. I just wish that more people would come to these meetings and try to learn, what we do. And, our door is always open at that sheriff's office to come up there. I mean, we even would give tours of certain parts of the jail. It's just more folks need to get involved. And I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up tonight to take your time to come up here and see us, okay? If y'all have any questions, I'll answer it for you. I'm going to get back.
We call him the mouthpiece. That's John Jewell. And I appreciate him. He does a great job, and he's been recognized for it. So, like I said, at the end, if you have any questions, if there's something we can answer for you, we'll do that. And if we can't answer it, we'll find out. So thank you.
I am not Captain Pounds. He could not be here tonight. I am First Lieutenant Deese. I'm the assistant commander of your jail. And I say it's your jail because it is your jail. Our jail opened in December of 2012 with a bed space of 1,580 beds. Today, as of 4 o'clock today, we had 626 inmates. Of those inmates, 94 were female, 520 are males. We populate the jail with every inmate known to man, from felon, misdemeanor, you name it, we house them. Our daily book-in is about 25 to 28 inmates a day. That's about 800 inmates a month that we book in and release. We are staffed with 4 12-hour shifts. We run about 75 officers combined with some deputies. 2 of our biggest costs in the jail are feeding and medications. Feeding we have down to about $1.79 a meal. Medication is one of our largest factors. We give out 28 to 30,000 doses of medication a month. That's large, and our large population is mental health. Some of the services that we have in our jail is dental, of course, medical, religious services, which some of you know, AANA, and we've started a new reentry program that the sheriff has started, along with our trustee program that cuts the grass around the community, parks, recs, trash pickup, and that's about all I have to say.
Good evening, folks. Now, my job, I'm Captain Elmer Horn. I've been with the Sheriff's Office 24 years. I was born and raised here in Douglas County, and went to Douglas County High School instead of Lithia. And so my job, when Sheriff Pounds took office a little over 2 years ago, he created a new division, and they called it the Sheriff's Community Outreach Programs and Education. And here recently, I was promoted to the captain over this division, and this division, we have about 24 people that work in this division. I have 4 sergeants and a lieutenant. I have 3 of my sergeants here tonight, and I have my lieutenant here tonight. I want to recognize them. My first sergeant is Sergeant Tracy Sullivan. Tracy, if you'll stand up. Tracy is in charge of our public relations, and she helps teach us BLAST, which is bringing life skills together in our schools. It took the place of our DARE program several years ago, but she helps teach the BLAST program. And then Sergeant Donna Morris, if you'll stand up. She's our sergeant over our BLAST program. She teaches in the elementary schools, and she supervises that program for us. And then we have our sex offenders in our community outreach, and you kind of wonder why or how that program fits in community outreach, but it really does, because we are able to educate the public on who our sex offenders are in our county, where they're living, and how to keep up with them so that they don't reoffend and we don't have problems like that in our county. But our Sergeant Trent Wilson, Trent, if you'll stand up, he's over our sex offenders. Trent is also over our new reentry program that we just started here recently for our county inmates. The state has their own program of reentry. We started a program through the county for reentry for our county inmates, trying to reduce the recidivism rate so that we can help our young folks that are getting locked up and give them resources and keep them from reoffending, so that we don't keep putting them back in our jail, because we don't want our jail to be a revolving door. And so that's one of the programs that Sheriff Pounds and all have started, and Sergeant Wilson is over that. We're also over our school resource program. Sergeant Jesse Hambrick, he wasn't able to make it tonight. He's actually coaching soccer right now at one of our high schools. But he's over our school resource officer program. I have two of my school resource officers back here in the back, Deputy Henry Timms and Deputy Cam Brooks. They're some of our resource officers. They also were your chefs, along with Investigator David Martin. They were the ones that cooked those hamburgers and hot dogs that y'all eat, so and it made them really good. So those guys helped us there on that. And then my lieutenant, she's back here running our PowerPoint for us, Lieutenant Susan Sweat. As you can tell, when we do a community outreach program such as this, it takes all of us. And when I say all of us, I mean all of us, the whole sheriff's office, to be able to do this and do that. But our whole goal is to bridge that gap, or make that the relationship between the sheriff's office and our community better. And that's our whole goal, is to make that better. And we have several programs in place to do that. Like the sheriff said, we bought an ice cream truck. And you don't know how many times I've been laughed at when I tell people, and other law enforcement officers especially, that we have an ice cream truck. They start laughing at me. They're like, what in the world are you talking about? But we do. We have an ice cream truck, and we go out into the neighborhoods, And it's got the little, ice cream music song on it. It plays that. It's also got a siren on it too. But we play the music, and we'll stop in certain areas in the neighborhood, and we'll give out ice cream to children for free. We don't charge them anything. We got 4 flavors that we give out, and we give them to them for free. And it gives us an opportunity to meet that child one-on-one and then get to see an officer, not when they're in the law enforcement capacity of actually enforcing a law, but actually seeing them out in the community doing some things different than what they would normally see. Also, we have a sound truck that we use. It's a old Pepsi delivery truck that's been converted into a music truck. It's got speakers in it. And so, if we can't reach them with ice cream, like some of the teenagers, we reach them with music. And it kind of breaks down some of those barriers and some of those walls that we have with our community and with our teenagers. It really does help, and we take it to our schools, we take it to community events. If you have a community party, something like that, please don't hesitate to call us. In your pamphlet there, you have a trifold pamphlet that has all of your captains' names and contact informations, not your cell phones, guys, I didn't do that. They just got nervous. But do you have your email address and their desk numbers that you can call and contact them and speak with us if you have questions specifically on a different division. But with the sheriff's office, you can call us and we can schedule this stuff for you, okay? We can come out to you and bring, I kind of like to call it the entertainment division too, because we can bring the entertainment to you. We also have the smoker that you've seen out here that we cooked, the grill that we cooked your hot dogs and hamburgers on tonight. We also have that we can bring out and be a part of your community. And we want to help you and be a part of your community so that you see us and we can fellowship and be with you and maybe get some ideas on how to help you in your community if you're having issues or problems. And that's kind of the way that we can do that. So these are the different things that we have and that we do for the sheriff's office. And we have just several different programs. We have our teen driving program. It's called CARE. Combined Accident Reconstruction Efforts or Education. And what we do is we teach teenagers and enhance teenagers' driving abilities. We have a skid car. We have a driving simulator. And we put the teenagers, 15 to 18, we'll put them through this driving course free of charge if you live in the county or work in the county. We'll put them through this program so that they can help. It helps on your insurance is one thing that I liked as a parent. The other thing is that it gives them some valuable information and valuable skills on how to recover skids and how to drive. And it really helps that way. Some of the other things that we do is we have our CLEA, our Citizens Law Enforcement Academy, we're fixing to start this Thursday night with. And I encourage you to get in the next class for our Citizens Law Enforcement Academy and come see the Sheriff's Office up close and personal. We give you an up-close and personal look at the Sheriff's Office and what we do and why we do things. So it's one of those things that come be a part of. We also have a civilian self-defense for women class that we put on. We're going to start, I think it's monthly or by quarterly, every 2 months. We're going to look at putting on a class. So if you're interested in that or you have a group that needs a class, you have a group of ladies that you work together or something and y'all want to get together and have a class, if you would, contact myself or Lieutenant Sweat and we'll schedule you a class to kind of give you some good, valuable self-defense stuff that we can help you. We have an Explorers program. This is a subsidiary to the Boy Scouts, and it's through the Learning for Life program. It's ages 14 to 20, graduated the 8th grade, so it's high school students that are interested in law enforcement. They can come to the sheriff's office, they fill out an application, and we'll put them in this program. It's a year-long program. They can be in it from their 14 till they turn 21 years old. On their 21st birthday, they age out. But if they fill out an application, then we'll hire them because we look at our explorers because we've already got a vested interest in them. We've already trained them on how to be a law enforcement officer and give them our techniques. And they go to competitions yearly on how to do traffic stops, how to do bomb threats, domestics, and they get graded on how to do this. And this is through the Boy Scouts. And we do this. They meet weekly on Tuesday nights. And if you're interested in that, by all means, send me an email, and I'll get you in touch with what we need to do there. And they actually learn how to be a police officer. This gives us two folds. One, we can look at a better hiring pool because we've already know this child. We've already invested into this person. The other thing is it gives them an opportunity to see, is this the job I really want to do? because what normally happens is somebody gets hired here 3 months or so after they've been hired, they decide, this ain't my kind of work. I don't want to do this. Well, now we've outfitted them in a uniform. We've trained them. We've spent all that money getting them ready to do this job, and then they decide they don't want to do it no more. So now we can't recruit that money too easily. So now they quit and go somewhere else. So this gives us a little better pool for that. And then we have a public handgun class that our training division runs, and they do that monthly. We'll teach you the ins and outs of doing the laws, when and where and why and how you can carry a handgun. And then they take you and actually talk to you about the gun and how to shoot. And they take you down to our indoor range and let you shoot your weapon and have one-on-one instruction from an instructor on that. But like I said, my name is Elmer Horn. I'm a captain over our scope division. If you have any kind of community needs, please don't hesitate to give us a call, and we'll have question and answers here in just a little bit. Captain Dever.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brett Dever. I'm a captain with the Sheriff's Office. I've been up there 26 years. I run the training division. I've been in the training division now for going on, I guess, 3-4 years roughly. Prior to that, I was in the patrol division. Most of my time I came up through working interdiction on the interstate, on the find unit, and et cetera. So basically the training division is comprised of myself, Lieutenant Brian Kemp, if y'all know him, and then Sergeant Shane Kirby, and then also my administrative assistant, which is Tina Brownlow. Myself, Lieutenant Kemp, Sergeant Kirby are full-time instructors now, and then we're also supplemented throughout the department by additional staff who are also Georgia Post certified instructors. So they may work other jobs, but we utilize them periodically to teach in their field of expertise. If I would, all my instructors, just raise your hand tonight so you can see. So I've got a few post-certified instructors who are in here. I know Susan's back there. I've got a few of them around the room. So roughly throughout the Sheriff's Department, we've got about 26, 27 other instructors, adjunct instructors, who help supplement when we do training. Out of our nearly 400 employees, we have to ensure that they're properly trained throughout the year with their yearly certifications through firearms, de-escalation, community policing, and use of force. So we have to make sure those things are done, plus everything else. Roughly last year, and it stays pretty consistent from year to year, out of our employees as we get a little bit bigger, last year I believe we had right around 35,000 hours of training for our staff. So it runs full-time. We have an indoor and an outdoor firing range that we maintain. And then part of those ranges that we also do is we help supplement other jurisdictions. Several of the federal agencies come out and use our range to help train their officers. And then also our regional academy, which is the North Central Georgia Law Enforcement Academy. That's where our deputies, when we're sending them for training, when they're going through their basic mandate, that's where they will attend. They will attend that academy. So we supplement that academy with our range. So roughly 11 weeks of the year, we will have academy students here at our range using our facilities, and we will supplement their staff because that benefits us directly. Pretty much that's about it. Also, I have to serve. I've been on the SWAT team since its inception in 2002. I now serve as the team commander over the team. So those are also part of my duties, is running the Sheriff's Emergency Response Team. And while I'm on that note, May 18th, if you want to go to our website, you can get the information, active.com. We do the Blake Gamble Run every single year. This will be the final year that we're doing it. We'll be doing it at Boundary Waters Park, and it'll be an evening run this year. It's at 7 p.m. And if y'all didn't know Blake, he was a friend of ours. He worked for the Sheriff's Office. He was killed back in 2005. And it's a memorial run we do every single year, and all of the proceeds every single year have come directly back to the Sheriff's Emergency Response Team. The sheriffs over the years have been very good. Sheriff Pounds is very good about spending money on us, right, Chief? And but all of the money that generated from the race goes directly back into the Sheriff's Emergency Response Team, so we are able to go to different locations and train, things of that nature. So I believe that's about it for right now. If you have questions, I'm going to have the sheriff come on back up, and let the question and answer begin. If I can ever help you with anything, the public handgun clinic, if you need to do that and you own a firearm, basically it teaches you safety. Guns aren't going to hurt you. It's when you start putting them in the hands of people, that's when they generally have problems. All right?
Thank you, Captain. Thank y'all. Well, now that y'all know what we do, now we're going to try to get our deal of how y'all can assist us in making things better than we got it. And it can all be done. Like I said earlier, if Mr. Stanley Dennis decided to call a suspicious vehicle in, we get out there, and they was planning on robbing the house, we get them, it's going to cut crime down. So we want everybody to get back involved in this sheriff's office. Y'all come up there and see us like you said, come drink coffee, come eat, whatever you want to do. But I didn't go into a whole lot about the sheriff because you go to our website and look at everything we talked about. You can see how long I've been here, how many years I've done in law enforcement. You see all of it. Now, I was born and raised here in Douglas County, but all that's on there too. And y'all got the best of the best now. I got the best sheriff's department, the west side of Hades. And we got the best commissioners, because when I go to her and tell her I need, she very seldom turn me down. But I'm working on this dirt road deputy salary we got to work on. You know, we can't keep paying the best, and then they doing, when they getting the money, we got to make them where they worth their time to keep a good deputy. Because every time we get them trained, as Brett said earlier, we got the best training division out here. And when they get trained, you can't blame that man for going next door, making more money next door than it is right here in Douglas County. But we don't hide anything. You know, folks, you say, oh, they're going to sweep that under the rug. No, we don't sweep pound. They're going to sweep nothing under the rug. I'm going to hold these guys' little feet to the fire if they do something they shouldn't do. We ain't going to sweep nothing under the rug. The good thing about it, we can't lie about it because it's all on video. Everything they go, them body cameras tell it all. And if you cut that body camera off during the time of that investigation, you don't have to worry about turning it back on again. So you can't cut that camera off. That way we get the whole entire story. Because I really and truly want my citizen to believe in this sheriff's office. And the only way they're going to do it, like we said earlier, getting back out there in it, showing consistent and not lying about nothing. You know, we human. We're going to make some mistakes. But we're going to tell you how we made it and why. We ain't going to say we didn't do it. We're going to explain to you. You know, I know back in the past when something happened, it was months before they found out the truth. Now, y'all know we just had the shooting at Walmart. We wasn't involved in the shooting. The city wasn't involved in the shooting, but it happened here in Douglas County. So we had to deal with it, but you take it to the bank, justified shooting. So I'm going to say about that. So we're going to open up for questioning now. Any question y'all got, y'all start with me or some of the guys back there.
Recently moved here from Vegas, and this is something completely different from what I'm used to seeing, so I wanted to congratulate you all on what you're doing here. A little bit of what I do is I run a basketball organization, and I'm looking to get started here in Douglasville. I live right down the street. And I was wondering, because we deal with youth, and you are speaking about bridging the gap, do you all have in your budget something for a program to where I have, with youth and with officers, I have a bunch of different ideas with charity events that include the officers and also include my youth. Is that something that's in the budget for the Sheriff's Department, something on that nature?
I don't know what's in the budget in that area, but I tell you one thing, you can talk to that guy that when this is over, and he can tell you everything you need to know. We don't mind participating in anything out there when it concerns the children.
If you're talking about putting a team together to play with the youth, I'm sure I can find some volunteers that'll do that. Guys, just remember this, the question that you have that you don't ask us, you may help somebody else sitting in this audience. that may be asking or wondering the same thing.
Hey, Sheriff, Pastor Matt McGue, new to the community, just got here about 9 months ago. So it's been great to be well received by you and your entire team. I've gotten to know Captain Horn here. As we're a church in the community, we see you all always out in the community working with kids, being proactive, and it means a lot. So thank you for the cooperation, and I'm been impressed since I've been here 9 months. Question is, as our county diversifies, especially with Hispanic and Latino and Spanish-speaking folks coming into our county, it seems to be a high concentration on the eastern part of our county and also out at the Corn Crib Trailer Park, where our church is doing ministry out there quite a bit as well. In fact, almost every Thursday night. But so the question is, what proactive programs or ideas does the department have to engage our Spanish-speaking community that's growing rapidly? Right now, I think we're over 10% of our county. That's 14,000 Hispanics. And so many of the parents aren't bilingual. Children might be, but, you know, are there Spanish-speaking officers, bilingual deputies that can help with that when it comes to engaging that community? And how can we proactively help and be a partner with you all in that?
And to answer your question, yes, we do have some Spanish-speaking employees, and that's a great question because in the past we didn't have that. I can't speak Spanish. I can't speak it, but we know they got needs just like everybody else. It's like I said, if you go back and say the word community, that includes everybody. And we gonna catch up with someone that could actually speak Spanish. Matter of fact, we got several of them now that could speak Spanish. The question is we got to try to reach out to them. For some unknown reason, they don't come to this trouble. I want everybody to be able to come to the sheriff's office and know we're going to be able to assist them no matter what nationality you are. Now, it's got to be some more questions because I know we're doing a good job. But it's got to be some more questions.
My name's Johnny Sexton, and I live in Shallowford Heights. Been in Shallowford Heights since '98, but also a Lithia Springs alumni, so we turned out okay. So I know you said that crime's down in our community, but social media is not betraying us that way.
They ain't our friend.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. When you go on social media, we get a lot of disgrace about our community. Is there any way to fight that? Is there a way to get some better news
no matter
out
who tell it, but go ahead.
Yeah, get some better news out there. You're saying crime rates are down, but as a citizen, when I go online and read some of the things, I start wondering, where's all this crime at that I'm reading about?
Now, you know, it's going to be crime as long as you and I live here in Douglas County. But I got stats to prove the crimes are down, and we're going to show you some of them in a little while. You got them stats, Major? They on that table out there. Social media is the biggest liar in the world for them concerned. They ain't gonna put nothing on the nice because they don't get no ratings. They got to put stuff on that is not true. So now, this century, big y'all got to understand. That's all it is. It's for ratings. You can come to the sheriff's office, sit down, and I go over with you individually how and show you where the crimes are down there. For an example, Fair Play. Fair Play used to have 2 deputies. Well, they wasn't enough for me. I put 4 deputies in Fair Play because I want to be able to, it took too long to respond from Douglasville all the way down to Fair Play. So now it's 4 deputies. I very seldom go that way and not see a deputy. I always see a deputy because that's what I expect. That's how you're going to keep crime down. Do some of the things you said you're going to do when you're running for office. And that's what I'm going to try my best to do. But social media, don't believe in that, honey. You got a question about the sheriff's office, you come up there and talk to one of these guys back here or me.
Anybody else?
Well,
come on ahead, ma'am.
come a long way, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Marion Cook. I've been in Douglasville since 1981. We need to enhance the community watch more. All the communities.
Yes.
In our community, it's in Westlake. We haven't had a lot of crime, and these guys have come by and sat in front of my house to catch those guys who are running the stop signs quite often. But isn't there a way, can we not put bumps there or something? So, you're going to run these bumps, maybe you slow down a little bit more. I know it happens more during the middays when, it's daylight and they can see that there aren't any cars at the other stop sign or so. But there still are small children in and around that neighborhood.
Yes.
I know these officers are doing their best, but I don't know what else we can do for some of those things.
Well, you touched on there's somebody here, that's their jurisdiction. Now, I don't want to step out of line. We don't put up speed bumps, but she does.
That'd be the road department.
Yeah, you got to go to a commissioner meeting and explain to them what the problem really is, because we'll keep a deputy out there, but go to your commissioner meetings about them speed bumps. And if it's not legitimate, I'm pretty sure they'll take care of it for you.
They don't even slow down. They just buzz through there. And obviously, everybody is going to slow down.
Yeah. Well, you go to one of them commissioner meetings now. Go to it, and she here.
One of the other things that we're working on doing is trying to implement a take-home car policy for our deputies that live. I live in Westlake, back on Lakeshore Drive, and yes, ma'am. And we keep those neighborhoods patrolled like that. And with this take-home policy, if you may see it in the news or on Facebook, because some people are complaining about money, but this take-home thing, these deputies will drive these cars home, and they'll sit in their home when they're not at work. The patrol car's there, and that's a deterrent in these neighborhoods for things to happen. So that's another reason we're trying to get to implement these take-home cars for our patrol deputies.
Well, if there's not any more. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I'll commend you guys. Last week, I come home from taking my daughter to gymnastics, Moxley Lake Road, on Post Road, and got called over what I'd done, and I had got to my house, looked, and seen you guys comply. So, y'all should, and I live Fairplay, Post Road area, so I have seen the response time go up. I'm also the manager been a week, sorry for you guys to have to come out there like once a week when security on the floor. The point is, I'm sure y'all all know video. They do, and I'll get a call from the security company, and I'll look at the cameras on the phone, and kid you not, 30 seconds later, they're pulling in. So I do want to say I have seen an increase in the Fairplay area, Metro area, and I really appreciate that, because when you first came in office, that was a big concern.
Yes.
But I haven't seen it, so that's what
Thank you. Any more?
Sheriff, I don't know if you want to hear from this guy or not.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm Bob Keese. I worked with you back in the 70s under Earl Lee, you and Mr. Watkins back there. And back then I remember we had 2 cars in Lithia Springs and one car on the whole west side.
One car.
And I just want to applaud the Sheriff's Office for the advancements that it's made since then.
Yeah, Keith, during that time, it was 36 employees. So 300 and something, close to 400.
That's
But
awesome.
yes, it was zone 1. Everything west of Douglasville was on 1. Everything east was on 2. 2 cars worked 2, and 1 car worked zone 1, which I always worked zone 1 out there by myself. Then you had a supervisor stayed in the middle so he could go to whoever he needed to go to.
Well, I remember you had to back me up one day out on 166, and I'll never forget that.
That was the good old days, Keith.
We can't talk about that. Give me that mic back.
Chief got to break down that question about, she asked about the stats. He gonna break that down about that social media.
Just to address some of those issues, I monitor Facebook a good bit. I try to stay up with what the citizens are saying and their concerns and relay them to the command staff. A lot of the things that I see is misconception as far as what's the real truth. You know, we have two different jurisdictions. Actually, we got more than two different law enforcement jurisdictions. We've got the Villa Rica Police Department that has a portion of Douglas County, Austell, the city of Douglasville, and then the sheriff's office. So first, when you talk about crime stats, you first have to understand that we're representing the sheriff's office in the unincorporated area of Douglas County. So when we say our stats are down, that is the county folks that we serve. Now, the cities are in the county, but they are responsible for their own law enforcement. We try not to overstep our bounds, although that we do have the authority to handle law enforcement issues in those jurisdictions. We tend to let the city police departments run their areas. So, you know, when you see something that may have happened in Douglas County but in Villa Rica, that's totally different. So it's not only with law enforcement, but I see people complaining about the roads. They have to understand that there's the city and the county, same situation, where, you know, people are complaining that on a road that's a state road, or you know, so we have to first understand what we're working with, and so in monitoring that stuff, there's been a lot of things here lately with investigations. You know, I see a lot of, you know, wanting updates and stuff, and one of the big things was a homicide that we had that was resolved by the good work of our investigations division. You know, some things we want to be out and be as transparent as we can and let the community know, but you have to understand that there's a lot of things that we have to keep close and tight. But I assure you that if any time the sheriff felt like there was a danger to the community, you're going to be the first to know. We're going to handle those, and it worked out real well. This wasn't a stranger on stranger crime. There was nobody that we felt that was running rampant in the Post Road Ephesus Church area, and we had to keep that close so that we could be able to solve the crime and do what we need to do. So rest assured that if there's ever an immediate danger, we're going to let you know. But, you know, like I said, there's a lot of things on social media, and first people have to understand what they're talking about before they can get the real answers. So as I think Major Holmes said, that their stats are back here on the PowerPoint. You don't have them?
We took those off because those were inaccurate stats.
Okay. Well,
Chief, before y'all leave though, real quick, I just got informed that online we're filming this live on Facebook and on YouTube. And online there was a question asked in the community: what can people do in their community to make things safer for the deputies?
It's what I said earlier. More involvement with the sheriff's office and police, whatever jurisdiction they live in, is reporting everything. Like one of the captains just mentioned a moment ago, you got to report it then. If you see something going on in the neighborhood, don't go all the way to work before you call us and let us know. You call. Most folks got cell phones now, so just call. When you see it, you call us. But what they can do is get involved. Like, I walked alongside the road myself, and I picked up, together the team we picked up over 300 pounds of trash. Just getting back out in your community. That's all it's going to take, getting back out there and reporting what you see and helping us raise those children. Take that community to do that. I'm going to keep saying it. But that's how the answer to that question is: more involvement from our community.
I am Dr. Ramona Jackson Jones, the chairwoman of the Board of Commissioners, and I would like to commend our sheriff and his amazing administration for all the great things they're doing here in Douglas County. And wanted to make it clear that on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we are fully committed to public safety. We've stepped our game up. When I took office in 2017, your budget was $32 million. Today it's at $38 million. And we've purchased 22 new cars. Probably now we've just added 11 more, so that is, again, 33 new cars, because your fleet needed some new cars as well. And also we provided that staffing that was needed for all these pockets, particularly the Fair Play area. So we are committed, and we will continue to step our game up to make sure that our citizens are safe here in Douglas County. So thank you. And let's give our Sheriff's Department a hand. They are great. Thank you.
I want to thank the commission because she's such a great part in that. Like I said earlier, she equipped us with what we need to get the job done. So I want to also thank her. Y'all give her a round of applause. Round of clap. And if there's not no more questions for the sheriff, I'm going to put something in this little skinny belly of mine. Y'all done? Again, thank you so much for coming, and always tell other folks about it. Because I want to fill it up the next time. Somebody might have some more questions. Thank y'all, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to turn it back over. Oh, yeah, the stats that y'all would miss will be on our website, Facebook, too. So go to the website and go to Facebook, and you get the true stats. And what my lady talking about, that social media. Ooh, girl, you ran my blood pressure up. But thank y'all again for coming, really. Yeah, but you know, it's them folks that don't want to participate, they want to run their mouth. Because they want to participate, they'll be sitting right in here with y'all today. But again, thank y'all for coming.